Time to put some beer into bottles. G'day guys, welcome back to the Beer Healer Shed for another home brewing video. Now you may have seen a recent video of mine where I had my brewing machine brewing a beer called the Redneck Hopster. Well, this is the result here. Fully fermented, dry hopped and cold crashed and ready to go. So the next step is to put it into bottles. Well, into bottles as I said in the start, but really I'm doing a bit more today. Yes, I'm going to put some into these swing top bottles, no dramas, but I'm also going to use the Brewing party kegs for the first time and chuck some into there. And then I'll also be putting some into the Beer Cat stainless steel mini kegerator thing and force carbonate that. So plenty to do this afternoon, so let's get moving. Rightio guys, so first step I want to do today is measure out the sugar for my priming sugar. So I'm going to be putting about 10 litres into 5 into the party keg and then the rest into these bottles. So I need to measure out about 60 grams worth of sugar that I'll mix with this hot water here, and then we'll use that when we get to prime for that for those bottles. There we go, that should do it. Righto guys, so the first step today is to rack the beer from the fermenter into my bottling bucket. I've got this sanitised racking cane which will go into here, have a tube linked off to it and down into the bottling bucket down here. And so what this basically does is it sucks the beer up out of that, you pump this up and down, sucks out of the one vessel and into the other one and leaves just enough at the bottom so that you don't pull all that crap through into the beer, and hopefully should make it a little bit more clear, that beer. So here we are, all ready to go with the racking cane. This is a pretty boring sort of thing, just up and down like this, so we might just speed up this part of the video. What do you reckon? Off all that beer that I need just for the mini keg and for the bottle. I've got the other stuff still in the fermenter to do into the carbonated keg a bit later, but we'll just take a look at the colour here. Pretty happy with that, looks pretty nice, and the final gravity reading was 1.011. Started off at 1.05, so by my calculations, 2, 3, carry the 1. I'm going to have a beer of about 5.2% ABV, which I'm pretty happy with. So let's get into the bottles and the party keg, and then we'll move on to the carbonated keg in a minute. Righto, before we get to put some beer into the bottles and that little mini keg, we'll be putting our priming sugar, so that's cooled down now, put that into the top, just give it a little bit of a mix around, mixes in nicely, now we're ready to bottle. Take a seat on my comfy milk crate here. Now, first thing I'm going to do is the party keg, as I said. Now, what I do to prepare these kegs is I get some boiling water and some sodium perk, or in this case I just get the cheapo nappy sand type soaker from the supermarket. It works just as good. I know there'll be some purists out there that say don't use it, but it's been working for me for a while now after I've been recommended by another home brewer, and I haven't turned back. So if you disagree, leave a comment, no dramas. Now, once I've soaked them, drained them, I then like to spray with my leave-in sanitizer, some stuff called Star San or one of those sort of similar things, and give that a really good spray in there, shake it around, and then we're all good and ready to go. So over to our bottling bucket here. This has all been sanitised off camera. I'll just tip this one in here, try and make it hit the bottom of the keg, which would be good, and then turn the tap on and away she flows. Going absolutely beautifully here. Try not get it all over myself. Smells good, this beer. Been nicely dry hopped. So I'm looking forward to tasting this one, and this little party keg will stay in the fridge for about 4 weeks, and then crack it open and see how she goes. Just about to the top now, and done. How easy is that? So just pop the little lid on this beast, bang, and away she goes. So the mini keg's done, onto the bottles now. Same with my bottles, I wash them out in the same way, drain them out till they're dry, and then spray them with some leave-in sanitizer, and fill them up, and this tube now. I was using one of those filling sticks for a while there, but I decided to change the tube just to see how it goes. Seems to be going okay so far, and seems to fill things a little bit more quickly for me than with the old filling stick. I really only had to do it and change it because I had one break on me, so I found a piece of tube and finished the bottling that night and haven't looked back since. Now it's important also with the use of these swing top bottles that you always check the little seals on these, because they can perish after a while. So I just keep a nice little stock of those on hand for when they do, and replace them as I go. And then what I've just started doing lately is I've switched over to using little sticky labels on the tops of these, just so I know what beer's what. This one, the Redneck Hopster. There you go, away we go. Alright, so all those bottles and that little mini keg are filled. This is now empty. I'll now rack off the other 5 litres into here to put into the keg. Look, I probably should have done it around the other way, but I wasn't really thinking. Then when I put the primer sugar in, obviously I couldn't put it through into the keg to do forced carbonation on. So, but that's all cool. We'll rack it off and then we'll fill the keg up. So while I rack this second part of the beer off into here, question for those of you who are a little bit more experienced than I am. If I wanted to rack directly from this fermenter into my carbonated keg there, that little mini keg, do you reckon I could do that? Yeah, I'm not sure. Leave me a note and let me know what you think. So look, I guess when you're racking off beer, there's not a lot of other stuff to do. It's quite boring. And so I was giving me a bit of time to think, I suppose. And I was sort of thinking to myself, why did I put this tap so high when I made this bottling bucket? I don't know. Maybe it should have been down about this level here, but I was probably thinking of trying to not have sediment going in through to the beer, but being that I've racked it off into here and then I'm bottling out of this, that should be a lot lower, because by the time I actually get to putting this beer in here, I'm going to have to tip this bucket up, much like this, to get my beer into this container. So once again, I won't bore you with how long this takes. We'll speed this one up for the magic of television. Alright, so for those of you that have seen my videos before, you might notice a couple of things. One, this tube that I'm now putting into the keg, it's been just sanitised, is nowhere near as long as the first version that I did. And secondly, you'll also notice that I have gone legit with my gas, because I had a fire extinguisher there for a little while, and now we've got a normal gas cylinder with a nice set of instruments on it and all that sort of stuff, which is unreal. So all that's left for me to do now is to put this up to around about, I think it's 30 or 40 PSI. I'll just check that before I do and whack it into the fridge for a couple of nights, and then this stuff will be ready to drink. So that's all I've got today in the Beer Healer Shed. Hope you enjoyed the video. Would love to hear any feedback that you guys have got, because, you know, I'm not an expert in all this sort of stuff, but I just love what I'm doing here and sharing my experiences with you guys. But happy to learn. Every day's a school day, as an old Irish friend of mine once said. So look, till we talk again in the Beer Healer Shed, cheers to great beers.